Hello. So today I'm on my main or my original account. Reason for that being I've hit a bit of a loss streak in the on the other account. I was about to hit Emerald, um, and then stuff happened. So I just wanna switch accounts for a bit, see how it goes here. This account was the one that was Diamond split one. That's why it's kind of my main account. I haven't done any promos yet, so yeah, according to my border, I was already in Emerald, so that's nice. And I got more skins here, so it's like I don't know. I'm gonna try more early game focused ones because I do feel like the games are shorter the higher you go, and you can't utilize phase rush that well because of it. And there's a lot more focus on hard CC recently, or at least in my games. And then phase rush is like, yeah, it doesn't help that much. And your early bit of damage actually is quite significant if you run like Arcane Comet Scorch. So yeah, I just want to try things out basically. I think the Silas matchup is fine. He isn't really trying to contest me, I guess. I don't think he actually can if I go these runes. So him losing a lot of minions is, yeah, pretty great. I want to use the last, yeah, exactly. Like people don't expect it if you hold it for a long time. It's pushing towards me, so I want to be a bit more reactionary now. But as you can see, it just deals, like your damage early is actually solid. I don't have to auto attack this, I think. Really? Okay. It was bleeding, so that's kind of lucky. But as you can see, when you go early game runes, your early few levels are really oppressive. I know Wukong is top. I was about to say, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't used a single potion yet. If I had phase rush, I could have killed people there, but oh well. Yeah, Arcane Comet Scorch is better in lane, phase rush is better for literally anything else. But I do think the skill, like he tried to walk away downwards first, and then he saw me ghosting, so the Sprio has paid off. Ah, that's nice. The moment it starts sucking though, like these wounds, is after your first back. I think he wants to back at this point, right? I'm missing so many minions, it's not even funny. Like when you don't have all your dogs, your auto attacks, yeah, they barely do any damage. The only reason why you can easily, or why your auto attacks seem to deal a lot of damage, is because your dogs also attack your auto attack target. But without your dog, you know, I'm actually gonna TP to keep Prio. I can maybe fight here. I'm in here to save my dogs, basically. But these wounds are nice to have permanent prio. I think having prio in higher elo is so important, because now my jungler can basically do whatever he wants. Doesn't kill. Okay. If I snipe him though, yeah. I don't really know the damage that well of Arcane Comet Naafiri. But with Phase Rush, and I know I keep complaining about it, but with Phase Rush I would have chased him and be able to auto-attack him once or twice. But with like the upside of this, obviously, I have constant prio. You have prio in most matchups, and you can really efficiently kill and punish late game scaling champions. The matchups are like a lot more in your favor. Should have maybe not walked back so much. And you can actually deny a lot of farm, which you cannot do with Phase Rush. With Phase Rush, your early few levels suck, and that does snowball if you allow it to. Like he's forced to buy the potion thing, and or the refillable potion, I mean. And it's just constantly low, so you can never focus team with anything. So yeah, especially if you want to start with Naafiri, like, this is a very easy setup. Could have killed him there. I was just afraid that someone was there because he stepped up way too aggressively for that amount of health. I will actually go for this tower plate. I feel like I need to be a tiny bit greedier than normal with these runes. Because at this point... Okay. I'll stay, I guess. Oh, and their team is forced to send reinforcement, basically. So even if you don't snowball, it's still very nice. Because they're wasting their time here. Big disadvantage though is you are not as safe from ganks as you normally are. It's like the millionth cannon I've lost. But even then, I'm ahead of farm. Yeah, I mean, I'm pushing all the time. So it's kind of my fault. I wanted to back earlier because I had a lot of money, but Syra kept ganking me. If I had better stats, I would have survived that. But this is kind of what I dislike about scaling runes, because yes, I'm forcing them to respond to me. But if something like this happens, it's like... I would have lived that easily with Phase Rush. He's dead, right? Shame. Yeah, but in teamfight you're just so much less versatile as well. So yeah, you can get massive advantages for this. But you're really sacrificing skill expression and just yeah. But since I'm somewhat early game focused now, or I mean Naafiri still skills extremely well. Well,
Turret plating will soon fall.
I went 50s this time. Because this is what they used to go basically. The reason for it's the other boots need to charge up, and it takes time. And again, I have an early game setup, so I want to be early game. And as an assassin, I don't want to buy super expensive items. I just want to buy boots and get it over with basically. But yeah, ultimately it's a choice, you know, do you want the potential to snowball? That's the case. Then you'll get the early game runes. Otherwise, Phase Rush in my opinion. Phase Rush is a lot more guaranteed. I don't get how the dogs don't attack it. Like that's... yeah, normally the dogs just auto-attack it for you, but this game they've missed like 20 cannons. Like Roof goes though. I don't know if Mordecai has ult. I'm willing to try. With Phase Rush, I would have survived that. That's like... There's so many examples this game where I could have gotten something or where I could have survived if I had like my wounds. But yeah, as you can see, the early game, yeah, this is like a billion times better for the early game. So it's ultimately a choice, but I personally prefer to really skill up and especially since Naafiri can just confidently go 9 or 10 CS per minute in every single matchup. Almost every matchup, that is. I think Zed and Aurelia are the only ones that can really deny you a lot of farm. But every other matchup you can just go 10 CS per minute. So if you're talking about wanting to have like solo carry potential, yeah, Phase Rush. Like I could have dove in there and just lived. It's also when I jump on her, for instance, and she jumps back and slows me, I'm fucked. But if I Phase Rush, I ignore slow and just run at her. And I can't do that this game. So I first need Spell Shield for Caitlyn, and even then, it's not... Yeah. It's not as guaranteed, basically. But then again, you know, especially higher elo, the games are shorter, or the game matters more, and you're not the only one that carries. And you're really handicapping your opponent, generally. Because even though you get a bunch of kills, he's 50 CS behind. And that's not nothing, you know? So ultimately, if you wanna have a simpler game, you know, I think this is better. Especially since it really feeds into the stat check mentality that base kit Naafiri really has. I just prefer to have a little bit more outplay potential at the cost of my super early laning phase. But one other reason why I don't like this is basically you reduce the game to a matchup sheet where it's like, is this a can I 1v1 this character up close? Yes, then it's a good matchup, otherwise it's a bad matchup. Whereas with Phase Rush, let's say Mordekaiser ambushes me, right? I can just Phase Rush away, avoid most of his ult, or just, you know, if he doesn't have ult, I just run away. But now I don't have that option. So now I actually, as I said, need to be scared of Mordekaiser like this. There she is again. That's a bit unfortunate. Like, I knew it could happen. I hoped it wouldn't. But here again, I would have taken so much less damage if I had Phase Rush. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about it the entire game. I really love Phase Rush. It just makes the champion a lot less linear, ultimately. Because, same with Mordecai, can I 1v1 him? No, well, then I'm fucked. That's how simple it is. But I'm still having fun. I'm not trying to be like angry Andy or whatever. It's more like I have a passion for Phase Rush, and I do have a whole theory on why that is. He probably already has ult again, right? I don't know the cooldown from Mordekai's ult, but I'm not gonna try out weird stuff. Ultimately, Ghost does alleviate some pressure from Phase Rush. No, that actually took. I don't think so. But needless to say, I'll be switching back to oh god. Switching back to Phase Rush after this. And recall boots. I am am I gonna go full utility? Nah, they have too much health. I would have liked though. I'm just gonna go top lane. Because I have TP. And I can probably kill Silas before something happens. So kill Silas and then TP, or at least I'll stop him from taking the tower. And I'm gonna say something very controversial as a Naafiri OTP. But I don't think Naafiri is that much fun to play without Phase Rush. Love playing assassins. I know I missed my second Q, but still. I also thought about playing jungle Naafiri. You know, because then you can just go Phase Rush and you're literally not hurting anyone. You can also go electrocute if you want to, but jungle, like first of all, I like the 1v1 setting of the mid lane, and also Naafiri's clear is super healthy but super slow, and I just end up being underfed every single game. And you're underfed and you have Phase Rush, so no offensive wounds. Yeah, then you do 0 damage. But you saw what I meant, right? Earlier with Caitlyn. She just does the most basic reaction, which is jump backwards and slow me. And even with slow resist boots, I lose the trade. I don't think that's... I don't think that works that well. I think it's an unfortunate reality that Naafiri does need that kills, right? Or what? That did not kill. Ah, they're so low. That's so spooky. Okay, it's the Lulu at least. I'm fine with sacrificing the Lulu. Nice. But yeah, like exactly what happens here with Caitlyn, and I know I've been talking about it for like the last half hour. But exactly this, like the fact that you have zero outplay potential, that just makes Naafiri not that much fun to play, in my opinion. And I mean, she's one of the least played champions in the game for a reason. Like, I think stuff like this just feels bad, basically. Like, she's overstated to make up for it. But still, like, even simple champions like Annie or Garen, they have outplay potential, right? Because they have stun or silence. So they can always somewhat outplay the opponents. But Naafiri, there's nothing like that. And it also, you don't have to be a genius to see Naafiri's outplay, the outplay possibilities. I don't know if there's fish in here. I should have bought Sweeper. I mean, Olaf is... yeah, Mordecai probably still has ult, so... I think the lane like them like that was pretty good move. This just to deal damage. Yeah, great for Sissy. I tried to jump behind someone else, but they didn't let me. That said, I've been complaining about the runes all game, but there's a reason why Silas is 100 farm behind, and it's not because he's a bad player, because this is like Emerald. Was it Diamond as well? I'm not sure. But 100% Emerald at least, because that's my current rank. So he's not a bad player by any means. And you did see how he struggled super hard early in the tower. I do think it's funny that they leave their ADC alone. I guess it makes that far. But she's higher level. Okay. Yeah, I hate the ADC XP changes. Like ADCs should not be the same level as solo laners. Ever. And I know she farmed well, but I farmed around the same amount. And I'm a lower level. But I've been alone the entire lane, right? I haven't killed Caitlyn the entire game. But these side lanes are also a lot more dangerous, right? If I get ambushed, I don't have an escape. And the most important thing I feel like is if you're going early game runs on Naafiri, you might as well go an early game champion, right? LeBlanc is gonna benefit so much more from early game damage. Like she just kills you in 2 rotations, level 1 or something. Even with early game runes, when you hit most of your stuff, Naafiri just doesn't have that. It was kind of risky because I didn't know where anyone was. But even if I died there, it would have been worth it because I would have distracted them from Baron, so that's why I did it. I think, by the way, that the changes for the lethality items, opportunity and Humus that they proposed, they're supposed to be buffs, but I don't see how they're buffs. I think it's like at best a stats change and at worst a nerf. Especially Humus losing 5 AD is not what you want as an assassin. But yeah, they did that under the guise like, oh, we really need to buff AD assassins, right? Because AD assassins are dead in the ditch, basically. But I don't see how that's gonna work. Like ultimately, as they said, they want to keep assassins as early game champions. Which, you know, sure. But I don't think that works with the current item system. Serrated Dirk, it worked when Serrated Dirk was a thing, when it was like strong. But now Serrated Dirk is like a fraction of what it used to be, right? It's 20 instead of 30 AD, that's day and night. And you know, the original durability patch also made it so that assassins early game really aren't that strong anymore. So I feel like assassins are currently, and have been for a long time, mid-game champions. Which is not great for the archetype, because like you wanna snowball as an assassin and you don't really get the ability to snowball on your own in lane, even with aggressive runes, except if your name is LeBlanc. But generally, especially if the opponent has TP, you are not gonna kill them by TP for this. But on the other hand, I'm gonna get so much value. But I think that's actually a major design flaw at the moment. And I think the lack of assassin value, or like that they're not there that much, directly caused the ADC crisis. Because assassins ultimately doesn't matter if ADCs are in 5 roles. If you have 2 assassins, you're gonna win the game. Except right now you really don't. Because the assassin just gets bullied in lane and never gets a chance to roam. Because of the minion, what is it? The way they changed how the minion, or how fast the minions are in the side lane. So you literally cannot roam. most of the time without losing so much. Burn all the birds if you want to get rid of ADC meta. Literally buff assassins. Just make Serrated Dirk an item again. Oh, that was the end of my rant.